This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we have configured the workflow, right? Manage.
So that what you did yesterday.
No, yesterday we didn't do anything. Yesterday, Vijay had some doubts, so I have just clarified her doubts. That's it. So we didn't have a session yesterday.
Okay.
Only the clarification of doubts. Okay. So what I've done is I think I've created an employee, Avinash. Okay. The company I've used is ICICI. So I have to create a workflow. I think we created the workflow in the other instance which got expired. So we'll be creating the new workflow now. Okay. Now you are familiar with the business rules, right? Like how to write business rules for validation. Then okay.
Validation and
Yeah, the same thing what we did last time, like creating of dynamic role, creating of dynamic group, and then the workflow that we will do, and then we'll directly get into business rule and workflow business rule, and then assign it. Okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, we need to have event reason. Okay. So event reason I'll create. I'll say quickly. Jan 1st, event reason ICI, the company is ICICI transfer, ICICI transfer, event is transfer, employee status would be active and we are doing transfer. So these things we can leave and then save. Okay, and the next is manage workflow groups where you create the dynamic groups. I'll go to manage workflow groups, create a group. Maybe what I can do is I can add users here. Okay. Let me check if we have some Heribath robots. Add another John referred. Okay. I have added 3 users and I'll say ACI WF group. Update 3 users. It's done. Okay. Now we need to create dynamic role, manage or pay. It's a foundation object, so you'll have to do it in the manage organization pay and job structure. You have to create dynamic role. Flow role. Now it can be of any of these combinations: department, division, location, legal entity, business unit, and so on. Now location, let me check if I have. So I have 2 locations. So I'll use ICICI Bangalore, ICICI Hyderabad, and the third is any other. Okay. I'll add the approver as Audrey 1. Okay, I'll add here 1 and here Christine Dolan. Okay, so I'll say it. Now this dynamic role, what I've done is I'm checking for the location. if I'm doing transfer of Bangalore employee, it goes to Audrey. If I'm doing the same transaction for Hyderabad employee, it goes to Michael. And if I'm doing the transaction for any other employee other than these two locations, it goes to Christine Dolan. That's what I've configured. I'll go to workflow. ICICI transfer. Transfer. Remaining days 5. Is delegate supported? Yes. Alternative, I will leave as it is. Redirect UCAC users? Yes. Approval type, I'll say role. Here I'll select manager. Leave this as it is. Step 2, again role. Manager's manager. I will say this as edit with row. I'll say this as edit with row change. This as edit without row change. Stop the workflow. Respect permission, yes. Here I'll select dynamic role. CHCI workflow role. Here I will select dynamic group. I'll select a different option, edit attachment only, no edit. And here I will select a position. Position can be, okay, I'll select some position. Let me check who is that. 500142283. How do you check who is there in that position? You need to go to org chat. 500142283. Position org chat. Let's type. Let's type the position. This one. Elizabeth. Okay. Position code is not visible there, so I have added a position code. Five double zero 14283. So it goes to Elizabeth. She is there on that position. I've added here position. Contributors. If you want any, if you want it to be sent to any of the approvers, so contributors. Let me add one contributor. Let me check if this is role. So I'll say person. Person is Ravi. Okay, let me check who is there. Okay, no data is maintained. So okay, what I'll do is I'll go and maintain her. Okay, I'll add my email ID. So here I will say M Cooper. Okay, and CC roles external email ID. I will add your email ID. What is your email ID? Can add any email ID here. External email ID. We'll add, which is so that she also receives the notification. And save. Now I've created a workflow where it says the workflow contains 5 levels of approval. First is manager, second is manager's manager, third is dynamic role, fourth is workflow group, fifth is a particular position, and we have contributors Mia Cooper, and CC role we have for the external email IDs. That means you can maintain external email also. Like, why do we have external email only in CC role? Because sometimes what happens is, if you have agencies, this is mostly used for recruitment. Generally, while hiring the candidates, the recruiters will be taking the help of the agencies which are outside the organization. They will have their own email IDs. So if we want to specify, or if you want to notify the external agencies or external people outside the organization, we can have the external email configured. Now we have configured the workflow, right? That's fine. Now, will this be triggering workflow every time you do the transfer? No, because we have just configured a workflow. We have named it as transfer. The name can be anything. It can be anything, not only ICICI transfer. You can keep it as ICICI only. Now, will this workflow be used for promotions, suspensions, or terminations? Yes, this can be used for any. This workflow can be used for any process. Only thing is, you need to assign this workflow to in the business rule, and you need to define the logic. When do you want this to trigger? Now, if I go to any employee, I have here Avinash. Okay, he's reporting to April Kennedy. Now, let me go to job information of this employee. Now, he is in Bangalore. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I go to action, change job and job information, I change the job. I want to change the effective date from Feb 10th. What I'll do is, now see here, it is ICICI Bangalore. Now I want to change it to ICICI Hyderabad. Okay, I'm moving the employee from Bangalore to Hyderabad. Now I click on save. It says submitting transfer without pay change request. Now this is the event reason. Submitting transfer. This is the event reason. It says X for transfer. If you go and check here, manage or pay, the event reason is, it says X for. What is that? XFER. That transfer without pay change. Without, I think this one. That's the workflow name. Okay, X4 is the workflow, and it is triggering transfer without a pay change. This event, transfer without pay change. This event reason. It is triggering this event reason, and workflow is X4. XFER. This one. This workflow is being triggered. Okay. It's going to position, relationship, dynamic group, and so on. If you see here, show workflow participants, it is going to Charles and then Tessa and then Christian Dolan. So it is going to these people. No, this is the general which is already set, but I want to have my own event reason triggered whenever the user is transferred from one location to the other location or from one department to the other department. I want my event reason. What is my event reason? It is ICICI transfer. I want that event reason to be triggered along with my workflow. What is my workflow? ICICI transfer. I want my workflow to be triggered. Now here I can see that there is a event reason called transfer without no pay change. That is being triggered event reason. And XFR or the transfer workflow which is being triggered. No, I don't want these things to use for my company. I want my own event reasons and my own workflows to be triggered. So what we have to do is we have to write a business rule saying that whenever user is getting transferred from one location to the other location or one department to the other department, any kind of transfer that is being done, I want the event reason to be picked as ICICI manager. Then, and I want the workflow to be triggered as ICICI transfer. So this is what I want. So till now, what business rules we have seen is the defaulting or validation or updating some data. Now we have seen that, but how do you how do you know that? How do the system know that whenever you're digging the transfer? Now I cannot write it on the transfer because here I am not selecting any event. I am just changing location. I have not changed anything. I've just selected the date. Date can be anything, any date, and changing the location. That means today I have one location X. I'm changing it to Y. Then I want this to be triggered, right? So I have to compare the value. What is the current value? What is the previous value? Current value is Hyderabad, previous value is Bangalore. That means every time user changes the location from X to Y or to Y to X, then I want system to trigger the workflow or system to trigger the event reason. So how do you write this business rule? Go to configure business rule. Now, whenever you want to compare the values with previous value with the current value, you should always use the base objects as models. Now, for every portlet you have, now if you go to job information, you will find job information and job information model. Now, if you want to write a standard rules where you only default or you only validate, then you can go with the base object as job information. But when you want to compare the previous value with current value, what was there earlier and what is there now, you want to compare the value, then you need to write the business rules with the base object as job information model or personal information model or employment information model or comp information model. We have these models in the base object. Now you go to add business rule.
Sorry, Ravi, why we are comparing?
Now, how do we write a business rule for checking the condition? Now, here what I'm doing is I'm just changing the location, right?
Okay.
So how do I write a business rule to check or to trigger the event reason? Now, user is changing the location.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot write a business rule for change of location or change of transfer or change of department or change of division. Now you will not know whether it is changed or not. Now what I'll do is, let's say I'm the user. I went to the location. What I've done is, firstly I've changed Bangalore. Now I've changed it to Hyderabad. And then again I've changed it back to Bangalore. That means I've not changed anything. But system tracks that I have made some changes here. Now when I'm changing the value is changed to existing, no, whatever the value that I've changed, that is the current value. Now here it is Bangalore. I'm changing it to Hyderabad. Now Bangalore is my previous value and Hyderabad is my current value, right?
Yeah.
So I'm comparing on the screen. There is some change. Earlier it was some X, now it is Y. Now every time user changes the value from X to Y, or from current value to previous value. So here I'm comparing. Similarly, department. Now the currently it has got ICICI HRD. If you are changing it to something else, that means that becomes the current value and this becomes the previous value. Before editing the screen, we had this value, and after modifying, we have a different value.
Okay.
Okay, so we are comparing the values on the screen. What do we have earlier and what do we have now?
Okay.
It can be a manager as well. Now
Yeah.
we have some manager here. Okay, so this change, we'll write it here. The basic rule. I see. Okay, base object. Now I'm changing the values in the job information portlet. So I'll go to job information here. Base object should be here. When I say job information, I have two objects, job information and job information model. So if you want a standard rules like validations or no defaulting, then you can use job information. But if you want to compare the values, then you need to go to job information model. Okay, I'll show you the difference. Click on continue. Now, if I go to expression, here I have job information. For every value for company, if you see, I have previous value and value. I have previous value and I have value. Now, if I go to add a parameter, I'll add here job information as well.
What is this parameter for?
Now, this is your base object. Now, earlier I've selected job information model as the base object. Now I have selected job information also as the base object. That's the parameter. Now, if I go to expression, I will find job information model and I have job information as well. Now, if I go to job information, now if I use job information instead of job information model, now I will see it here, job information. Now, company, see here, I see here all companies. Or if I go to department, says apprentice details, code, cost center, division, and so on. But if I go to job information model, now if I click on company, you will find previous value. This is current value. Anything division, if you go to division, you have previous value and value. Okay, so in job info, if you take job information, it will not give you the option of adding, looking at the previous value and the current value. Now I want to write a rule expression. Now I want my event reason. Here my event reason is ICICI transfer. I want this event reason, and I have ICICI transfer again. This is a workflow. I want this event reason and this workflow to be triggered for my employees. Okay. Now my employees means whoever is there in the company. ICICI. For all the employees of ICICI, I want this event reason and this workflow to be triggered. Okay. So first condition should be company equal to ICICI. Now if I to go to expression. If company value is equal to ICICI Bank Limited. Okay. Now what is my second condition? This is my first condition. This is done. Second condition is the location previous value is not equal to current value. Location previous value is not equal to current value. That means user is change, company is ICICI, the employee's company is ICICI, and the location, there is some value in location and we are changing it to something else. So again, add expression. What is the logical expression condition you want to have? To have and. And where is that? Location. Now location previous value is not equal to location current value. Okay, this is done. This is done. Now see here, job information model location previous value is not equal to job information model location value. Current value is not equal to previous value. Okay, now similarly, I want this transfer to be triggered for department, for manager, for company, for country, or for all of them. I want to use the transfer event. So what I will do is I'll go here, add parent or, and I'll add expression. So what is that? It can be my division as well. Division previous value is not equal to division current value. It can be for division. Even if I change the division, do is I'll copy this, I'll paste. Now here, instead of division, I will take department. Yeah. Okay, I'll paste one more. I'll say country, I'll leave it. Company previous value is not equal to company current value, or say business unit also. Previous value is not equal to current value, or I will paste one more. I'll say supervisor field. Okay. Now see here. Now the company is ICICI and one of these change. If the employee belongs to ICICI Bank Limited, and if you are changing, if user is changing the location or division or department or company or business unit or supervisor. Now if user is changing any of this value, then I want event reason ICICI transfer to be triggered, and also the workflow to be triggered. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. Now I've written a condition. I'm checking for the company and one of these values. This one and one of these values. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay, then I want to set my event reason. Set the event reason value to equal to ICICI transfer. This event
So,
reason.
Ravi, is this is it a best practice that we have to
Yes,
do? Okay.
yes. Now, here when you are doing the transfer, see here, when you are doing the transfer of employee, you're just going to job information and selecting the date. Now, you're not selecting the event reason here. You're not selecting the event reason because user doesn't know what event reason is to be selected. In the drop down, you will find promotion, you will find transfer, you will find suspension, you will find termination. He don't know what is to be selected. So we have to tell the system whenever user changes the only these fields, then that is transfer. But if you are changing the pay grade, that is promotion. Or you are changing the role of the employee, that is promotion. So for promotion, we'll write up different rules saying that whenever user changes the pay grade, whenever user changes the job code from let's say executive to manager or manager to senior manager, when you're changing that value, so it should be promotion. Okay. System is
Okay.
automatic. Now system is automatically picking up the event reason. So how is it picking up? Because for every event reason we have the business rules. Now earlier when you had this event reason derivation XML, there we used to define if user is changing a particular field, then it should trigger this particular event. I'll show you the event reason derivation XML. I'm saying set job information model event reason value to this one. Okay. And add one more expression. So I will add this change right here first. Event reason value to be equal to, I say, I'll change that to, I'll change this to workflow. Set here, second condition. For all the workflows, you will use WF config. If you want to select workflow, then you need to select WF config value to be equal to ICICI.
So YWF config.
WF config is the workflow configuration.
Okay.
You are selecting this workflow from the manage organization by you have created a workflow, right? That workflow you have selected here.
Sure.
Okay. Then save it. Okay. So maybe I should have selected this event reason a different name. So I have added both the names same, but in real time it would be different. For transfer, it is different. The event reason and the workflow is different. Okay. Now in our case, now this is workflow and this is event reason. Now whatever it is, this is just a text. So now what I have written is every time if the user changes the location or department or division or company or business unit or supervisor of the company ICICI, then system should trigger the event reason, this event reason and this workflow. Okay. Now if I go
So
to,
do we need to give both event reason as well as workflow?
yes, now if you want workflow, you need to add with the workflow. If you don't want workflow, then you add only the event reason.
Okay.
Now your process says every time there is some transfer being happening, now you want the event, any of the event reason is compulsory. You should have for job information, every change that you do, you should have an event and the event reason. Hiring, transfer, promotion, suspension, termination, unpaid leave, paid leave. It can be anything, but you should have some event reason. What are you changing? Why are you changing?
Okay.
Maybe cost center change, maybe position title change, maybe position change. So you should specify the event reason.
Yeah.
Event reason is mandatory. But again, if you want workflow also be triggered, then you need to configure workflow as well.
Okay.
Okay. Along with
Got it.
this event reason, you want the workflow to be triggered. I've created a workflow. So I will go to manage business configuration. Where should I assign this? I should assign this in job information. Go to job information at the bottom. See, these are all the rules on events. Now I should select job information model. Blindly, if you are writing a business rule on events, event reason, then it should be job information model. Okay. Now, when on click of save, I want ICICI transfer rule to be triggered. Okay, I will save it. Just a warning message, not on our rule, somebody else's rule. So I've created a workflow, created a business rule, assigned the business rule on job information portal. Now, the next step is to test the employee. Okay, now I'll go to my employee. I'll go to this employee, go to actions, change job and comp information, select some date. Now you've checked location, right? It is Bangalore. Now I am changing it to Hyderabad. If I click on save, trace here, ICICI transfer. Place your cursor here. It says ICICI transfer workflow. Now if you go to workflow participants, now you can see here 4 levels of approval. Okay, now you go to your workflow, check your workflow. Manage org pay. April Kennedy. Manager is April Kennedy. So I'll go to workflow and I will say ICICI transfer. This is the workflow. Now let's see. First is manager. So April Kennedy is manager, right? Employees manager is April Kennedy. So first step it is going to April Kennedy. Once April Kennedy approves, it should go to manager's manager. Who is manager's manager? April Kennedy's manager. Now let me go and check who is April Kennedy's manager. Now, April is reporting to manager Jordan Robinson. So here, in the job information, you have Jordan Robinson. So here it is going to Jordan Robinson. Now, third level of approval, dynamic role, ICICI workflow role. What is dynamic role? It is going to Audrey. Why is it going to Audrey? Because if you go and check, manage organization pay, dynamic role. See, we are transferring the employee of Bangalore location. So it is going to Audrey. Now, if I do the transfer for the employee of Hyderabad, it, it should have gone to Michael Pittman. Since we are transferring the employee of Bangalore, it is going to Audrey. So this is my third level of approval. And fourth level, I can see three employees, Mary Beth, Rosemary, and John referred. What is my fourth step here? It is dynamic group. In the dynamic group, I have added three employees. So I see here all those three employees. That means in the fourth step, it is going to all the three employees. And the fifth step, it is Elizabeth Wall because that's the position. This is the position. Okay. Is that clear? Now contributors is Mia Cooper, CC is Vijay, and so these are the approvals. Is that clear?
Yeah. Mhm.
Now I'll just say confirm. Okay. Now while doing the transfer, I've checked it and I said confirm. Now if I go to the employment profile, here I can see that the current record is February 1st, 2020, which says the location is Bangalore. But I can see here ICICI transfer pending approval. It is pending approval. That means it is pending for approval. Only after the approval is done, this record gets updated. Now, with whom is it pending? It is first of all, it is pending with April Kennedy. What I'll do is I will proxy as April Kennedy. We'll go to, now I've logged in as April Kennedy. If I go to the home page, I can see there is one approve request. Transfer of Avinash Kumar. Okay. See here. Test. Okay. I'm just adding some post. See here. I have delegate option because in the workflow I have selected the delegate option. Is delegate supported? Yes. So I've got delegate option. Now here I have edit with route change. Edit with route change. That means I can also edit this request. So I have update here. If I go to update, it will allow me to change the details. It is opening up. See here. It is allowing me to change. I don't want to do that. We'll do that later on in the tomorrow session. I can send it back or I can approve. Now, if I approve, oh, who is this guy's manager? April Kennedy's manager, Robinson, right? April Kennedy is reporting to Jordan Robinson. Proxy now. Jordan Robinson. Second level of approval. First level I have approved. Second level I've proxied as Jordan. I'll just approve it here. Okay. Now third level is Audrey. to approve request. Click on the approve request. Just check. See here. Who has initiated? You can see the activity here. Anya has initiated. Now here she has commented. She has approved. After that, Jordan has approved. Now it is with Audrey. Now it goes afterwards. It goes to one of these all these people. So let's copy this name and see here. Here I don't have approve update because step 3 dynamic role, it is only edit attachment. Here I can, if I have edit attachment option, I can only attach, but I will not be able to update. So I don't have update option here.
So what's
Say
there in the update basically?
update means now the location, user has changed the location. Now it has come to me and I have option to update, so I can change any other data also. No, not from Bangalore to Hyderabad. I may change it to from Bangalore to Delhi. Yes, I will have that option to update. Or not only the location, I want to change some, I want to add some amount, or I want to have some comments, or I want to change something else of this employee. So I can go ahead and update.
So it will trigger further workflow for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Rosemary. Now request is with Rosemary. I'll approve this as well. I will proxy now as Elizabeth. Who's that? Elizabeth, right? Elizabeth Wall. Approve request. This one, I'll say approve. Now I'll go to become self. And if I go to Avinash profile, see here. The effective date is Feb 17th now. The current record effective date is Feb 17th. If I go to history, I can see here the location is changed to Hyderabad from Bangalore. Who has approved this? Now if I go to view approval history, so I see here all the activity initiated by Anya, and then she commented test contributor, and then she approved. After that, Anya Singh on behalf of Jordan Robinson, because we have proxied as them. So all of them, they approved. So I can see the approval history, and the event is transfer. Event reason is ICICI transfer. Okay. So all the approvals now in this, all these, whenever the this thing is triggered, request is triggered, I must also have received the email. Now you can even you can check your email. There should be here. I have changed the email ID, right? So I have received the email. The change job for Avinash Kumar has been approved by Elizabeth. Now even you must have received the email.
Yes.
So in all the changes, okay, I have received the emails from this from system.
So how come you received for each of
See
it and I just
now,
received one?
because now if I go to SF admin profile, Somewhere I should must have had the here. Now it is for Mia Cooper. Mia Cooper email ID is maintained as mine, right? Firstly, the first email is for Mia Cooper. ICICI transfer Avinash has been submitted by Anya Singh. Now, when Anya has submitted the transfer request, since Mia Cooper is in the CC role, contributor role. Mia Cooper is in contributor role, and Mia Cooper has got my email ID. So I have received the notification
Okay.
when the event has triggered. So you are invited to review and post comments on the transaction. Now that's fine. Now, secondly, April Kennedy. April Kennedy has posted some comments, right? So as a contributor, it's my responsibility now. See here, hello Mia Cooper. April Kennedy has commented on this particular action. Okay, please click on the link to view the comments of the approval request. Now, if I click on here, it takes me to the this same thing, workflow. It takes me to the workflow here. Okay,
Sure.
that's my comment. So similarly, April Kennedy again, she has approved here. So now since I am a contributor, every time somebody approves, Jordan approved, Audrey approved, Rosemary approved, Elizabeth approved, I am getting the information because I am the contributor. If they need any information, I have to post the comments. So as a contributor, I have received all these emails. Now you must have received the CC notification after all the approvals are done.
Yeah, has been
Okay.
approved.
Yeah. So we'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll look at the same workflow. We'll add this workflow. The same thing we'll see for some other employee or some other employee with a different company or a different location. We'll see
Okay.
that. I'll tell you. We'll discuss in detail about the workflows. So
Sure.
who is
Sure.
approving, how they are approving. Okay. We'll get into detail. Now today we just wanted to test the workflow. We have just triggered the workflow, approved the workflow. Tomorrow we'll see in various scenarios what happens if they don't approve or what happens if you have to change the approvers. So we'll see all
Yeah.
those things. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, sir.
Catch. Bye.
Take care. Bye.